Painting lakes is a really quick way to fill up a lot of the canvas, and it can look really beautiful as well. In this video, we're going to look at two things you need to be able to do to paint lakes. One, shorelines, and the second, reflections. So first of all, the closer a shoreline is to the horizon, the further away from us it is. Shorelines that are further away tend to be very, very straight. One common mistake beginners make is making distant shorelines either curved or angled, and that almost never happens. So one common trick to get a nice straight distant shoreline is to put a piece of tape down to keep your edge nice and crisp. But there's nothing that says it has to be perfectly straight, so there's nothing wrong with just painting it in with a flat brush. Now the second thing you have to think about when you're painting lakes is reflections. So to paint reflections, you're going to want to use a flat brush with stiff bristles. Take the same paint color as the thing you're reflecting. Make sure your brush is damp, not dripping wet, and doesn't have that much paint on it. You don't want the paint to be too thick. Line up your bristles with your shoreline and then pull straight down. And as you pull down, lift up so that the end of your stroke has these little sharp points to it. Make sure the reflection is the same size or smaller than the thing it's reflecting. And if there's any really noticeable things like a sharp, tall tree, try to reproduce that in the reflection, but always by pulling straight down. It's okay to go over the same area more than once, especially if you accidentally get a diagonal brush stroke. Don't worry if it doesn't look like reflections to you yet. Just trust the process. Once we start adding ripples over top, it'll really start coming together. Ripples don't have to be perfectly smooth lines, but you do want them to be very horizontal. If they're on an angle, it's going to look a little off. If you're worried about your ability to make horizontal lines, here's a couple tricks. One is to take a ruler, lay it down flat on your canvas, and then prop one end of it up, and then you rest your brush on the edge of that ruler. Another way is to lay a piece of paper down, again make sure it's flat, and then you paint just along the edge of the paper. That helps keep your line straight and also can help make it a little bit thinner because half of the paint is going on the paper instead of the canvas. Your ripples should be the same color as your water, and you want to put the majority of them at the edge of your reflection, where your reflection touches the blue of the water. Just like everything else, ripples that are further away should be thinner and shorter, and closer ones can be longer. And the very last thing you're going to want to add is a thin water line that separates the shore from the reflection. Use the same color as the water would be at that point, and a really nice thin stroke.